Hey, here we are. Welcome to Off the Grid. This is season 4, episode
1.
There you go.
Uncommon Ground.
That's right. Episode 1 of season 4 of Uncommon Ground, or Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground. Whatever. We took a little time off.
We took a little time off, but we are back. And mainly we were back by popular demand.
That's exactly right.
And the fans have spoken.
You can always subscribe to Off the Grid on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We would appreciate if you would subscribe, leave us a review, send us a comment, tell us how incredible we are. Schwaber, I'm a little rusty. It's been a little while.
It's been a little while, but we've got a great show for you.
We do.
Now, during seasons 1 through 3, we did kind of mix up the categories a little bit, and we will be bringing back some of those categories as well. But just to give you a little agenda for the day, we're going to start out with Not Your Mama's News.
That's right.
We're going to go into the only lists that matter.
Absolutely.
We are going to give you some stream sauce.
Tastes good.
We will talk about, should it be this or should it be that?
That's right. And Mark has a theme song for
and
that. Sometimes
you get a little embarrassed and you listen to a song, you really like it, but you roll them up. You roll up those windows.
Roll them up.
And you're going to get a question as to how much money would it take
everything
for you to
boils
do something
down. Yes, everything
crazy.
Boils down to money.
All right.
Thanks for that, Mark, because I was completely unprepared and as usual, and you did. You nailed it. Absolutely. So
I brought it today.
The first subject is Not Your Mama's News, and it's time for some of that right now. Yes, today on Not Your Mama's News, we have some extremely exciting topics to talk about. Not Your Mama's News, the first subject we want to talk about. We're going to go to your headline, Mark.
Well, hey, no, before we do that,
we
kind of got to let everybody know why Not Your Mama's News came to be.
I thought the whole world was watching and listening, so I figured they already know. But you go ahead. You go ahead. No, you're absolutely right.
We got to bring it back.
Yeah.
We got to bring it back to a time where the two of us, we grew up in the 70s.
That's right. We did.
And there weren't 5,000 television channels. There was like 5.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And the only time you could get your news was at 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock at
but
night.
We weren't allowed to do that.
Right. And, it was Dan Rather, Ted Koppel, Walter Cronkite, and probably somebody else I'm forgetting.
Tom Brokaw
on the nightly news.
Tonight on the nightly news.
Yes. And it was all serious, right?
Yes.
It was, world chaos, wars, famine, poverty.
Yeah. Things that we talk about today still.
Yeah.
They haven't solved them.
But none of the really important stuff, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
The stuff that really is worth talking about.
Yes.
And that's what we're here to do for you, is we're here to bring you the finer news stories that leave you with questions, and we'll try to answer them for you.
Yeah. So Mark's first story here.
Idaho man snaps 110 pencils in 1 minute.
Now that's newsworthy. And there he is.
Yeah.
For those of you watching.
That is David Rush.
Wow.
Keep in mind this, for the first thought that came to mind is why?
Yeah. And for our listeners, it looks like there's this really long small table set up with all of these pencils just balanced on the edge of the table that go into oblivion. And if I saw this and I was younger, I would just go down the line and knock all the pencils off.
Right. Right.
But he decided to break them and set a record?
Right. Because, what else is important to do? Today as compared to any other day. Yeah. So that was the main question here is I'm just reading this and I'm like, why do you break 110 pencils in under 1 minute and care about it? Why?
Did he get paid something?
Well, no, listen. So apparently this guy is like a serial Guinness World Records title holder.
Oh, there's a bigger problem.
So he's just trying to set a world record for everything.
Right.
Okay. So keep in mind, he originally held the record.
Oh,
okay.
So now he wants to break his own record.
Yeah, he held the record in 2019, 98 pencils broken.
In a minute.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Right.
Because anybody can break 110 pencils.
Right. And then other people came and broke his record, and he wasn't having that.
Yeah. How does he break them?
I'm sure he breaks them with 2 hands.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, when we, for the benefit of our listeners, when you look at this picture, it looks to me like he's standing in front of the pencil, and there's a bunch of broken pencils on the table next to him, and it looks like there's a pencil flying, half a pencil flying off the table. So does he just, like, it looks with 2 hands, like one hand he holds the pencil down and the other he just goes snap, and then he just goes down the line?
It could be. I don't know those details.
All right. Well, listen, if we're going to be a credible news organization, you're going to have to work on that side of the journalism.
I will tell you that so the record is 110. He did previously hit 111, but was disqualified due to an issue with the stopwatch operator.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
So, and just to round this out, he is now the co-holder of the title because somebody else tied him. And he has currently, with the Guinness Book of World Records, 169 total records, and he wants to get to his goal, I think, to make himself the biggest record holder of all. He wants to get to 181 world records. Yeah. So imagine, you're trying to get to 181. Here you are, you're at 169. Some schmuck comes along, and breaks another pencil. Then you're down to 168.
Yeah. And do you want to go back and try to break 112 pencils? Do you want to do that?
Right.
And I would be real curious as to what are the other records he holds, and do any of them involve eating?
I don't know.
Any sort of bathroom activities?
I don't know.
Or any sort of like sex activities? I mean, you're talking about 181 world records. I mean, there's a guy who holds a world record for fingernails that are, 22 feet long.
Sure.
He's not going to break that one.
No, I don't think he's that guy.
Right. So
maybe
there's some follow-up you can do here.
I could do some follow-up.
Yeah, maybe there's a little follow-up.
All right. What do you got?
Well, let's moving on the news desk. My headline is something that I actually found kind of funny. And I call it, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I will just kill you."
Is this an actual news headline?
It is. Yeah, it's an actual news headline. And you know how I work Not Your Mama's News. I usually read that because I'm not as good as you and make things up.
Right.
If you're looking at the picture here, this is apparently a picture of Stephanie Langley of East Farleigh, Kent in England.
Mm-hmm.
She is 55, lovely years old. She stepped outside the Hare and Hound pub, which I ought to tell you right there's going to be a problem, and stabbed her former brother-in-law, Matthew Bryant, to death. This is apparently...
This is when it happened?
Yeah, this is apparently a security video picture of her knocking something out of his hand. I'm not sure if that's a cup, a mug, it looks like a roll of toilet paper.
No, I think it's a mug of sorts.
Yeah, she was convicted on May 1st, the BB reports, although Langley claimed in court that she never intended to hurt her victim.
Okay.
She started that violent evening by telling pub goers, "Get a drink while he's still alive." Then she told Bryant, the victim, "You're dead tonight." After she stabbed him 3 times, witnesses heard Langley say, "I hope he's dead." She told arresting officers she had killed him, was glad she had killed him, and was happy to go to jail for it. She'll be sentenced at a future hearing, probably to life. But she also said that in court, she never intended to hurt him.
Well, it seems pretty clear that she did.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why? Do we know why she had this distaste for this fellow?
I don't know why. I can only allude to the fact that he was her former brother-in-law. So she was married to his brother.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if there wasn't a little, maybe,
falling out.
or misbehaving going on. I mean, I have.
Maybe he caught her doing something that she shouldn't have been doing,
but she was enjoying.
And the brother left her because of what he told her.
It's possible.
And then she just said, "You think you're going to do that?
Hey, well, you
You're
better
dead.
You better get a drink before he dies." And that, my friends. There you go. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next subject here. Something that we love on Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground. Season 4. 4 seasons, Mark.
4 seasons.
Back by popular demand, as you said earlier. We like to call this the only lists that matter.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Chris?
I sure will. Yeah. The only lists that matter. Well, look, ever since the invention of the internet by Al Gore, back in the late 80s, early 90s.
And we do got to thank Al Gore.
Yeah, thank you,
Al. That was good stuff.
Al, let me tell you, my life would be so much better if you hadn't invented the internet. But ever since the invention of the internet, people have been putting lists together that you can go read online and waste your time with. And,
top 10, top 100.
Top everything, bottom everything, pictures, this, that, and everything else. And honestly, you know, we they call them listicles, and we're tired of that. We've decided we're going to cut off your listicles, and we're going to give you the only lists that matter, and those are our lists.
Yes,
they're the only lists that matter. This week's list, we're going to start off with the top 6 annoying actors or actresses. But in today's vernacular, everybody is an actor.
Yes.
No one is an actress.
Right.
Because that's too gender specific.
Yes, that would be highly upsetting.
Highly upsetting.
We don't want to offend anybody.
That's right. We are not here to offend. We are only here to offend.
So everybody's an actor.
Yeah, that's right. I'm an actor.
Which almost sounds like then everybody's a man.
Yeah, but come on, be a man. So the world's most annoying actors. Now we're going to do 2 per show. So the next 2 shows we'll get to number 1 and show number 3 here. Too many numbers. So number 6 on Mark's list, the only list that matter, the world's most annoying actors. I love this. All right, go ahead.
Like
Who is that? Who is that?
Okay, now listen. My mother, I'm sure, is rolling over in her grave right now.
Yes.
Because I've got it.
And my mother's
6.
heart just skipped a beat. She's still alive. Her heart was like,
because I've got it number 6, Meryl Streep.
Oof.
I got to tell you, I don't get it with Meryl Streep at all.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, it seems like the entire world has decided that, like, you know, she is the greatest actor of her time.
Right.
And I just don't get it.
Okay.
I can't like sit here and name you a particular movie that she was in and say, oh, she was phenomenal in that. I mean, I can't. I mean, I just, and to be honest, I feel like she's kind of sort of annoying in the way that she talks. And, you know, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't even know what else I can say beyond that, but I don't get it. Now my mother, who is, you know, not with us any longer, God rest her soul. When I would tell her this, she would say, Mark, what's the matter with you? Everyone loves Meryl Streep.
Come on, Mark.
Right.
Come on. What's the matter with you? Everyone loves Meryl Streep.
Right. I don't.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Meryl Streep?
I mean, there's a show that she was in. It was Very Bad Things or with Nicole Kidman that was on like Prime or something just a couple years back. Nicole Kidman,
the little liars or
Pretty
something.
Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah. And she played Nicole Kidman's mother-in-law.
Right. Yeah, she was all right in that.
But I thought she was excellent in that. But here's the thing. I actually thought that she was playing herself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I do find her annoying.
Yeah.
But I think it's more because of that.
Right.
But I'm not, you know, she's not on my list.
Right. There are people that like, you know, Meryl Streep's in a movie. They were there.
Wasn't she?
They were there.
What was her most famous movie? On Golden Pond? No, that's
Jane Fonda.
Yeah, I know. That's Jane Fonda.
I don't even know. I don't even know what would her.
She's been in a lot, dude. We should know. At our age, we should know. So if you're listening and you want to drop us a comment and criticize us for not knowing, even though we call her, I mean, how can we consider her annoying when we don't watch or know what she's even in? Schwaber.
I mean, she's got 21 Academy Award nominations.
Yeah, I mean, so she's that's pretty annoying in itself.
33 Golden Globe Award nominations. You know,
well, all of these people are accomplished that we're going to be talking about here.
Right.
You know, it's not necessarily their work; it's who they are.
She was in The Deer Hunter.
That's right. Oh yeah. She was Bob De Niro.
She was in that Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was the mom.
Sophie's Choice.
You know, Kramer versus Kramer is the first movie I went to in a theater with my parents where I saw boobs.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw boobs.
She was in The Devil Wears Prada.
No comment on that, Mark? Nothing you want to chime in on there?
No,
you don't like the word boobs?
See, you know, but all these movies are not movies for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kramer versus Kramer. Actually, I you know what? Think about this. You know what Kramer versus Kramer was about?
You know, my first movie that I saw in the movies was Star Wars. Why the hell were you going to Kramer versus Kramer?
I don't know. That's exactly where I'm going. You know what Kramer versus Kramer was.
Wasn't it about a divorce?
Yeah, right. It was like, here's what happens in a divorce.
Right.
Okay. My parents took me to see that movie. I don't know. But now they didn't get divorced or separated until I was either in my last year of college or the first year out of college. Mm-hmm. But here I am, like, you know, you want to talk about foreshadowing. Yeah. I mean, that explains a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Meryl Streep, number 6 for Mark, number 6 for me. And at any given time, she could be number 1. She can just vacillate.
Sure.
Is Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, come on.
I'll tell you what. I am in 100% agreement with you here. She could have been on my list. I don't even know why she's not on my list.
She should be on your list.
She's one of the most annoying people on the face of the earth.
Just like that picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's her standard look.
It is.
Now, I will say that there was a time where I appreciated Whoopi Goldberg and the work she did when early, you know, in the late 80s when she was good friends with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams.
Wasn't she initially like a comedian?
Yes. And then she was in the
Sister Act.
Well, here, I can tell you because, see, I brought notes. So her film credits, The Lion King, Toy Story 3, Ghost, The Color Purple, and The Muppets, among many, many more. The story where she played a nun. Remember
Sister Act, like 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. So the thing on her, a legendary figure in the entertainment world, Whoopi Goldberg has earned her place among the most respected talents in Hollywood, with memorable roles in films such as The Color Purple, Sister Act. Her acting prowess and comedic timing have reinforced her iconic status, serving as a co-host on The View since 2007, which is when she went south.
I mean, I agree. I do think The View is what hurt her.
Yeah.
Like, everybody just thinks that, you know, like, whether you agree with her opinions or not, she just comes off like an ass.
I can't stand her.
Doesn't she?
Not this version of Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Like, you know, she just like speaks, like, if you're against her point of view, she's just like really dismissive and combative. Yeah. And she's just like,
wait a minute.
She seems like she would be an absolute just, who would want to be around her?
Let me ask you a quick question here. Something dawned on me. So you know a lot about how she acts on The View.
Yes.
You watch The View?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Does your wife watch The View?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but I see, you know, little clips here and there.
Okay. Yeah, the internet stuff.
You know, yeah.
I was starting to wonder about you. Okay, number 6 on my list. Yes, Whoopi Goldberg. You have made the list. And keep in mind, if you make this list and you're a celebrity, it only increases your celebrity status.
Probably.
Think about that.
So we're doing something good for you.
We are. So don't get mad at us. You know, we don't need no attorneys around this place. All right, number 5 on the only list that matter. This version, the world's most annoying actors. Number 5 for Mark. This person would not be on my list either. I mean, I guess she's kind of annoying. That is
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
You know what?
She's a cutie, though.
You know what? Another person to me that just takes a downward slide because of the TV show.
Oh, yeah. Her talk show. You know, she had Jordan Peterson on once.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did.
Who is Jordan Peterson?
That's great. Okay. So anyway, some of our listeners will know who Jordan Peterson is.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, you probably would.
Is it one of those like killer guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, look, big fan of Drew Barrymore in Poltergeist as a child.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I mean, that's cool.
Right.
And you know what? She was kind of fun being sort of in the rom-coms with the Adam Sandler types, fun. But I just find that now, I just find her to be just really annoying. It's like she's just always playing some kind of like dumb, goofy blonde in a rom-com, and it's just the same thing over and over again. And it's just like, I don't know what to do. Like people who imitate her. There's somebody, Chloe Fineman on SNL, does an imitation of her, and it's just spot on. And like when these people do imitations of her, it's like I can't even take her seriously anymore because of the way she talks.
I think you have a problem with either formerly or currently semi-attractive white women. I think that's your issue.
I don't think that's an issue.
No,
and I don't think Meryl Streep is attractive at all.
Well, I said formerly.
Oh, I don't think she ever was either.
I think there was a time where she was mildly attractive. Okay. Number 5 on my list. Number 5 for Mark was Drew Barrymore, The Only List That Matter, the world's most annoying actors. Number 5 on my list is this jerk off, James Corden.
Is he really an actor, though?
He's a celebrity. Yes, and he has film credits.
Does he? Okay.
Into the Woods, The Three Musketeers, Planet 51, which was and Lesbian Vampire Killers.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm reading right off the thing, and The History Boys.
That sounds like something I might want to watch.
Yeah, maybe late at night, alone, or with your cat.
Well, tell us about your distaste for James Corden.
Well, according to what I'm reading here, James Corden is a true entertainer. James Corden has charmed audiences with his humor, wit, and enthusiasm. His work on the British television show Gavin and Stacey led to his hosting the immensely popular The Late Late Show with James Corden in the United States. Known for his engaging interviews and inventive bits like carpool karaoke, Corden has solidified his status as a beloved TV personality. I find absolutely nothing redeeming about anything he does, anything he says. I thought carpool karaoke was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, I will say that my wife absolutely loved it.
I think it's great.
It's the most annoying thing I've ever seen. I don't like him. I don't like his smile. He annoys the hell out of me. Unfortunately I saw Planet 51, which I did not know he was in because it's an animated movie.
Oh, okay.
I myself may watch Lesbian Vampire Killers at some point. But Into the Woods, The Three Musketeers, and The History Boys will never be on my list of movies to watch. I don't think James Corden offers anything to society whatsoever. And no, I'm not jealous because he is a fat, blondish, white guy like me.
I think he's kind of funny. I mean, now I certainly would not put him in my top of any list.
Right.
I don't consider him. I don't consider him one of the worst. But I do think he's kind of funny.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
that
like carpool karaoke.
That was it. The Only List That Matter, numbers 6 and 5 for Mark and Steve. Next show we will be highlighting numbers 4 and 3.
Mark and Steve, or
Mark and Chris.
There you go. Well,
the problem is I have an identity crisis, which is why I hate so many people.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
The next category that we love and that we're going to bring back here and talk about after I tell you that if you're listening to the podcast, I want to thank you so much. You subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere like that. And please subscribe, leave us a review, click the notification button. That way you'll know when we have new episodes up. Next subject up for debate here is stream sauce. Did you bring some ingredients with you?
I sure did. I'm going to start it off with a pot full of water. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt in and put in a little chicken broth.
Okay.
And
sounds
yourself,
good.
You going to add anything to the mix?
I'm going to throw in a mirepoix.
What is that?
That is onions, carrots, and celery.
Are you serious?
I think so.
Never heard that word in my life.
Neither have I.
I'm going to throw in some potatoes.
Oh, good. Potatoes.
And some peas.
I think we're working towards some kind of fucked up stew here.
Well,
like it's not a sauce.
It's a sauce. It's a stream of sauce.
Okay. And what does that mean, Schwaber? Since this recipe is totally screwed up.
What that means is there's so much stuff to watch. There's so many channels. Yes. I mean, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Apple TV Plus, Peacock, just goes on and on and on. Yep. Max, right? Yep. So God, sometimes you sit there and you spend like 45 minutes just like looking for something.
Yes.
And, you could have watched a whole show by then.
I've actually fallen asleep with the remote control in my hand while I was looking for something.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to make that easier for you now. We're just going to give you some recommendations of shows that we liked. It could also be a recommendation to stay away from a show as well.
It could. Yep.
But
I have to have finished the season or the show.
Have to have finished it, because sometimes you will start a season and it will like start out really good and then you get tired of it. And so that would not be something to recommend.
Or vice versa. Sometimes it starts out slow and it picks up speed and you end up liking it. But we have to, let's break it down and say you don't have to have finished the series. It's just the season.
Sure. The season.
All right. I want to get that straight, because sometimes you get a little picky. All right. Stream Sauce. First ingredient this week for Mark is
The Gentleman.
I love this show.
So I know you liked it too. It was on Netflix. It's hopefully there'll be a second season, but so far one season, somewhere between 8 and 10 episodes, I'm guessing. Stars Theo James as Eddie Halstead. He was one of the actors in the White Lotus series.
Yep.
And so this was kind of, at least from my vantage point,
second season of White Lotus.
Right. From my vantage point, this was the first thing that he's had a starring role in.
Maybe, yeah.
He might have done something else. I don't know. Kaya Scodelario was great as Susie Glass, kind of very interesting character. And Daniel Ings as the Freddy, the unhinged, lost for life.
He stole the show. There were moments where he stole the show.
He did steal the show, especially the show when he found himself acting like a chicken.
Which was, I think, the first episode.
Which was the first episode. Yeah. So for those of you who just want to know a little something about it, it's a Guy Ritchie series. It's actually a spin-off of a 2019 film by the same name. I don't think I've seen it. Have you seen the film? No, I haven't either. So maybe that's something to look at.
Yeah.
And essentially what happens is Theo James unexpectedly inherits an estate and the title of Duke of Halstead. And upon reading the last will and testament of his deceased father, everybody thought it was going to go to the messed up other brother, Freddie, but it goes to him. And he stumbles upon learning that it is now a weed growing empire that his father was running, with the help of Susie Glass. And so he has to try to navigate this world. And part of it is his push and pull between, does he want to get away from being a criminal or is he actually enjoying being a criminal?
Well, does he want to get away from a criminal enterprise that provides the formerly wealthy royal or elite class family he was born into that is now broke?
Right.
Or does he just want to be a general criminal like most in royalty over there are?
Right.
And stealing from just the people.
Right. So highly recommend. Really good.
It's a really good show.
Really good show.
Absolutely.
On Netflix.
Okay. First ingredient was Mark's ingredient. It was The Gentleman on Netflix. This is something that I watched recently, and it is, of course, a documentary. Yes. And it is called Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal. It is on Netflix. It is 3 fairly short, not overly short, but not like 90-minute episodes, but 3 quick episodes.
Like hour 10.
52 minutes, something like that. And basically the Netflix description is: when a dating site for people seeking adulterous affairs is hacked, millions of users' intimate data is exposed, wrecking marriages and destroying lives. What a surprise. I added the what a surprise part of that. Most men our age are afraid to admit that they knew about that site. And but most men our age did know about that site. Now,
I did not know about that site. Did you? You did?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, you're also kind of deviant.
I have no comment on that. But I can tell you, yes. With being able to sleep at night, I did not have a profile on Ashley Madison.
We also weren't happy in your previous marriage.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't try. I just didn't have the balls, to be honest.
Right.
But what it was a dating site that was created for people who wanted to have affairs. A lot of people think that somehow it was some sort of escort site, or no, not at all. They're one of their mottos or one of their taglines was "Life is short, have an affair." Now, the guy that ran the site or started the site was a guy named Noel Biderman or Biederman. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Can't remember. He was a family man. He held himself out there to be a family man,
a good Christian.
He was a former attorney. No, he was not Christian.
Oh,
Yep, he was Jewish. But,
no.
But and for those of you listening, my esteemed co-host and one of my best friends right here is Jewish, so we're not going down that avenue ever. The point is, he wasn't Christian; he was Jewish. But anyway,
I just assumed we're not Christian.
Yeah, maybe Catholic.
right.
Yeah, no. The point is that he held himself out there to be a family man. So he started running the talk show circuit when Ashley Madison started getting some press, because they were charged. What they were doing was this. Obviously, if you were a woman, you could sign up for free. If you were a man, you could sign up for free, but in order to communicate with any of the women, you had to buy credits.
Oh,
okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the more credits you bought, the more messages you could send and receive.
Oh, okay.
So they started getting, it's playing the addiction game. Okay. But what they held out there was, yes, the men had to pay, but the thing is that women basically are, and this is where our friend Steve didn't describe it quite correctly. The women who are signing up, most women who want to have an affair are super secretive. So like, you're not going to entice them to pay money to get onto a site to have an affair. You got to make it free. But the men, they're also secretive, but they're willing to pay to communicate.
They're willing to take the risk.
So the site grew, and it grew from like maybe 1 million users to all the way to almost 40 million users.
Wow.
And this guy had a sales force and an operational section, and they were getting ready to actually go public on the New York Stock Exchange. And all of a sudden one day, somebody hacked and downloaded all of their information and then threatened them and said, turn the site off now or we're exposing everybody. But the thing about the hacker was, it wasn't the classic, ransom hack. Like, give us $20 million.
It's like a do-gooder hack.
It was, and they've never been able to find out who it was. They had suspicions, so I'm not doing a spoiler here. Okay, everybody knows they weren't able to find out, but they have suspicions as to who it could have been.
Okay.
So what happened is, not only were certain people, that when the deadline came and the attorneys got involved, they're like, okay, how much money do you want? The hackers disappeared. The only time they would communicate is when they were like, look, the site's still up. Take it down or we're exposing you. And then they released a bunch of information that outed some politicians, outed some celebrities, and then outed some regular people. I'm not going to tell you about those people. Right. Watch the show. But it's suffice to say, those lives were affected in a negative way. The first data dump did that. The second data dump, when they thought, maybe this is an inside job, the second data dump were all of Noel Biederman's internal emails. And we found out that Noel Biederman was not really a family man. So that being said, it was a very interesting story. One interesting fact that I will leave you with is this. This happens at any company and this kind of information is exposed. What do you think happens?
Get fired.
Yeah, company goes down. Right? Ashley Madison is still in business.
That's interesting.
They are still in business. Now, Biederman is gone.
How much are they making in revenue a year? Do you know?
I have no idea. But at the time that they got hacked, they were pulling in somewhere around $250 million a year.
Wow.
Now, I want you to think about what I told you when I said that the men had to pay to talk to women. And then I want you to think about the women that responded and whether or not were they really responding. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Was it a scam?
I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. That's a tease for you guys to watch it, because it's really a great American greed story, to be honest with you. It really is. It really is. But the fact that they're still in business leads me to think, like, the management team that was there is gone, and some corporate entity bought it.
Right.
But I mean, you tell me they're not doing the same shit. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. So once again, my ingredient in the stream sauce this week is pretty good. It's an entertaining watch to me. Although there are some sad moments. There really are. Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal on Netflix. Good. Off the Grid, Season 4, Off the Grid, Uncommon Ground, Season 4, Episode 1 continues with...
You can give me this, or you can give me that. Or you can give me this, or you can give me that. Or you can give me this, or you can give me that. Or you can give me this, because this is where it's at.
Yeah, I have something. My mind goes to like something with a cat.
Okay. All right.
As far as the rhyme. So what is this or that?
It's basically, we give you have two choices, and you have to choose one, whether you like it or not. Gun to your head.
Is it really gun to your head? I mean, I know we've talked about that in previous episodes. Did we always do the gun to your head with this or that? I don't remember. Well, gun to your head. Which would you rather?
Yeah, right. Yeah, just accept it.
Okay. So this week's this or that. Would you rather be an Olympic gold medalist or a Nobel Nobel Peace Prize winner? I love the graphics you picked for that.
We got Michael Phelps with about 100 gold medals
and a hell of a body,
right?
Or
you got Nelson Mandela,
dead.
Jimmy Carter, and
dead.
Is that Mother Teresa?
Dead. Yes,
okay.
All of them are dead.
All right.
Okay.
Well, here's my take. I think the initial thought would be, of course, I would want to be a Nobel Peace Prize winner because because you're making a difference in the world.
Really, that's what you want to do, Mark?
No, that's not what I want to do.
Okay.
What I want to do is I want to win every swimming event.
Yeah.
Hold every gold medal. Basically walk around the world as the king of swimming.
Right.
And have all kinds of admiration from everyone.
Yeah, let's break that down.
I think it's a good life.
Let's break that down.
I think it's a good life. Yeah, whereas some of these other people did not have good lives.
We're going to break this down.
Okay? Nelson Mandela, incredibly important human being, right? Mm-hmm. But he also spent a lot of time in jail.
Right.
So I prefer the Michael Phelps life.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter, considered one of the worst presidencies in history.
Not everything was terrible. I mean, he did, create some peace between Israel and Egypt.
Yeah, and all of that lasted a long time.
Right.
And Mother Teresa, God rest her soul. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Not really sure about what she did.
You can insult. She was a missionary. So
okay, spread the gospel.
I would rather be an Olympic gold medalist because I'm going to break it down and be a little more detailed.
Okay.
Because I would be, and I'm going to use your language.
Yes.
I would wear 100 gold medals. Mm-hmm. I would walk around half naked with that beautiful body.
Mm-hmm.
I would enjoy lots of admiration from the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
I would smoke bongs in public and not get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I would get depressed for a little while and then be an investor in one of the world's largest online psychological hack companies because I think that stuff is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably have a lot of money.
Yes, you would.
Right. I wouldn't have to spend 50 years in jail to become famous.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I wouldn't have to become president of the United States while people took hostages in another country.
That would be stressful.
And that get blamed for the fact that they didn't come home until the first day of the next president's presidency and not be given any credit.
Yeah, that would be tough to take.
Yeah. And referred to as the peanut farmer from Georgia. I mean, come on. And then have to say things like, I myself, what's his accent like? I can't. I used to be able to do a Jimmy Carter accent. It's like a that Georgia drawl.
Mm-hmm,
I myself have had unpure thoughts about other women. That's more like
Clinton.
That's Clinton. Yeah, I can do Clinton.
Yeah,
I can do Clinton. Let me be clear. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's very good. Very good. Yeah, very good.
Like I could do Reagan too.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, so yes, definitely Olympic gold medalist for sure for me.
Which makes us sort of shallow.
Yes, it does.
But that's okay.
Yeah, well, I enjoy being shallow. It's more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, you're driving down the road. All of a sudden, a song comes on. It's a nice summer day. Man, you roll those windows down,
Yes.
you blast that song. You're all alone on a stretch of highway. Next thing you know, you start entering an urban area and you pull up to a stoplight. There's all kinds of people waiting for the bus.
Couple guys in Harleys pull up next to you.
Yep. And what do? You roll them up.
You do.
That's right.
You're embarrassed.
Roll them up. Songs we are embarrassed to love. Songs we are embarrassed to love. And I got to tell you, Mark, your first one here, I'm putting it up right now.
Yeah. It is the Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
I am not embarrassed by that song.
I am.
I think that song is a retro song that people want to sing. Yeah.
Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive.
We are not going to be famous for that.
It's a little embarrassing.
I don't think so at all.
It is a little
I think the Bee Gees are still sexy. My wife loves the Bee Gees. I mean, if I'm blaring that song, she's dancing and having a good time. Yeah.
But you remember when disco was really uncool for that period of time? Remember disco died?
Yeah, that was like the 90s, man. People were like, what are you doing? Today, they're like disco is like real. That's the real deal, man.
I just felt it's a little embarrassing. My two boys, on their hogs pull up and, I'm jamming on Bee Gees. I think I'm rolling it up.
I'm telling you right now, those two boys on the hogs,
they're into it.
They're going to be dancing on the hogs.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I totally disagree with that. I do not think you should be embarrassed. What do you guys think? Leave us a comment. When you leave us a review when you're listening to the podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcast. You like how I did that, don't you?
Yeah, snuck it in there. Snuck it in.
Now, this one I think is, I think you will agree with me on this one. I don't know what it is, but I love this song. And I blare it like crazy, sing it like crazy. But when I pull up to the stoplight, I definitely roll up the windows. Time for me to fly. REO Speedwagon, Time for Me to Fly. You can't even believe I love this song. That's the issue.
No, I find no, this would definitely be a roll it up for me. REO Speedwagon, I find to be like one of the goofiest bands in the history of music.
Well, no question. I mean, look at that. That was the best picture I could find. Right.
I mean, they are so goofy. Yeah, and I don't see it that way. I also kind of never understood it, the best song I feel of REO Speedwagon is we built this city on rock and roll.
That's not
and it's ridiculous.
Is that REO Speedwagon?
Or is that Jefferson Starship? Or is it the same thing?
No, it's not the same.
I don't know, man. They all blur together because you know what?
There were a lot of similar bands.
This is again, average white person
I
music.
Can't fight this feeling any longer. Yet I'm still afraid to let it go.
You're kind of sounding country, though.
What started out as friendship may be stronger. You don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the song. Yeah. I think that they're terrible. Well, actually,
I love REO Speedwagon. I've seen them in concert.
Have you?
They're a great concert.
I think
with Cheap Trick.
See, I think they're terrible. It wouldn't even be a roll it up song for me. It would be like a switch the channel song for me.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. I'm blaring, I'm blasting this out the windows and singing, and then I pull up and I'm like, nah, windows going up here.
See, I would be the guy on the Harley looking over at you being like, what's up with this fool?
Yeah, you'd probably be shooting me. Okay. Well, last topic for season 4, episode 1 of Off the Grid Uncommon Ground on the podcast is something that we like to debate. How much would it take for you to? And what that means is, look, this is a task that not a normal person is going to do.
Right.
It takes some extraordinary courage or extraordinary effort and some extraordinarily unstable mental situations. Right?
Yep.
And for ours, for the first one, and it's really Mark and I talking about if I was able to pay you this much money, or if you gave me this much money, I would do it for sure, or I would consider it, or forget about it.
Right.
This first one, This is it was kind of tough, but climb on a ladder between two mountains.
Yeah,
like this dude here. Like, yeah, that's tough.
The key is it's really high up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's the idea.
Yeah, you do have some ropes to hold on to
and some steps. Yeah.
But boy, it seems like an unwise choice.
Well, that's safety. That's the point. Like, how much money would it take you to make that unwise choice? How about if I throw out numbers and you say yes or no? Okay. Yep. $100,000.
No way.
$500,000.
Not a chance.
$750,000.
Not a chance.
$1 million.
Not a chance.
$2 million.
I'm thinking about it.
2.5.
That's not going to be enough.
$3 million. Now we're in the ballpark.
I'm going to say if we get to 5 million, we're in the ballpark. 10 million, I'm in.
That seems really high.
It seems
$1
like
million
a situation
changes your life.
It seems like a situation where you can die.
Well, that's the point of the whole idea here.
Right.
Like if somebody told you,
but
I'm going to give you $1 million, or I'm going to,
but not only are you going to die, but you're going to die an incredibly painful, horrible death. Falling down the entire 30 seconds it takes to fall off the mountain and hit a rock at the bottom is going to be just awful.
Right.
And you might not even die. Maybe you just get paralyzed.
Well, at that height, you would definitely die. There's no doubt.
I would think so.
Yeah. So you're saying 5 million is in the ballpark.
5 million, I'm thinking about it. 10 million, I'm a go.
I got to tell you, like this guy, the picture that we showed, it looked like it was good weather. So we're going to assume good weather.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, even at good weather at that height, the winds are blowing.
Mm-hmm.
So it requires a lot of strength.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's kind of like, what is the percentage that I would be able to make it all the way up?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's a 50-50 shot.
Okay.
A 50-50 shot. That's on a good day. It might actually be more like a 10-90. But a 50-50 shot, if I went to Vegas and I put $100,000 on black, 50-50, I'm going to get 200 back. Okay. 50-50 shot for me to score $1 million. I'm doing it.
Are you?
Yeah.
You do that for $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause I can hold on.
Well, how do you feel about heights? Are you afraid of heights?
No, only when I'm in an airplane.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. I was actually thinking about this, right? I'm not sure if I actually am afraid of heights. I feel like I would be.
Yeah, you would find out
because I've never been at a height that high.
Yeah,
but I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, see, this is classic.
Yeah,
because you always go way high, and I don't think me going at $1 million is way low. I'm saying, look, 50-50 shot at $1 million. Like, you show me the cash in a suitcase.
No, here's the thing.
You don't have to come down, right? You have to climb up.
See, I think you have a different perspective on money than me. See, $1 million to me is nothing.
I knew we were 10.
It's 10 years at $100,000.
I know, we've been there,
which
before.
Isn't a lot,
right?
You know what I mean? So I say, no, the hell with it, man. I can just make over $100,000 a year just doing what I'm doing now.
Or you can take the 2 hours it takes to climb that friggin' mountain and have $1 million now and 10 years to spend it.
I don't know.
Boom. There it is.
Boom.
Boom.
There goes the dynamite.
There it is. All right, guys. Listen, thank you for listening to Off the Grid Uncommon Ground. This is season 4, episode 1. It is the completion of season 4, episode 1. It is. Thanks a lot. We have a great time doing this.
Back.
We will be back next week with Not Your Mama's News, the only list that matter, number 4 and number 3 of the most annoying actors of all time, our picks for stream sauce, this or that, roll them up, and how much. And you can always find us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Please subscribe. Please leave us a review. And you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else all over the world. Any parting words for this episode, Schwaber?
Thank you, Off the Grid Uncommon Ground fans. We appreciate you. We're back for you, and we do this show for you.
I'm your technical director, and I am out.
Jablonsk!
Jablonski!